everyone, and welcome back to the Limit of Adhesion for TCR Season 2, and this is round 5 at the Red Bull Ring. Joining me tonight on my red leather late night chat show, Seti, is no one. I'm by myself today. I've been ditched by everyone, so I don't know what I did to upset anyone and everyone, but we're flying solo tonight. That's all good. Got some water to stay hydrated. We've got some coffee to not get a chance to drink, because I'm sure the race will be absolutely action-packed, as every single one of the season has been so far. So strap yourself in, as always, hold on tight, and prepare yourself for what's bound to be another action-packed pair of races here from the Red Bull Ring. See the championship standings very shortly, no doubt, but it's been it's been a really strong season for potentially some surprising candidates. We know people like Malarin, the Risky Boys, people like that are always fast in everything they drive. But topping the standards going into this round is Joe Malarin. So one of the most vocal. Is that accurate? I think there's quite a lot of vocal people actually about how much they hate the front wheel drive. But Malarin out there, 60 points clear at the top there, but of course the drop rounds not taken into consideration just yet, so if you take those into account, Malarin's about 20 points in front, with the lowest 2 scores taken off for each of the drivers. But it's Malarin's to lose at this point in the season. Really strong showing for him. Of course, we've got to remember that Russell Bright missing all those points from Alton Park after his little flying lesson, taking the shortcut and landing right on top of Damon as it happened. And Damon will probably be disappointed not to be ahead in the championship at the minute. He's obviously had that problem at Alton Park when him and Greening came together, race 2, lap 1, and then he found a Russell on top of his head towards the end of the race as he tried to bring it home. But still lots of racing to go, of course. This is marking the start of the second half of the season, so what has already been so far is still to come again, basically. So if Malarin can put 251 points on the board going in the first half of the season, then potentially means someone else can get 251 in the second half of the season. Looking towards the team's championship there, we've got the Murphy squad leading Wizards Fire Ruby by 28 points there. But again, drop rounds not taken into consideration. Then Risky Racing Blue always up there, no matter what the series is, no matter what the car is, no matter what the track is. Green and a Messenger are always up there. Looking a little bit further down the order there, surprised seeing the McLaren boys down there. Raced TCR Season 1, of course, coming back for TCR Season 2. Normally a good showing. I seem to remember seeing both the Chris's up towards the front, but maybe caught up in various incidents throughout the season, meaning that they're just not getting that combined score for the team's championship. But turn our attention to qualifying, and it's Maxwell that's put it on pole. And I've actually got the qualifying times up. He beats David Ward by 0.001 of a second. So 1,000th of a second. Then Malarin in third there, John Cook in fourth, Alex Murphy rounding out the top 5. Russell Bright, another strong showing for him in P6. Ben Shalcraft there in 7th, and Gavin Kelly in P8. Gareth Winslade in 9th, and Chris White rounding out the top 10. Easy for you to say. Rich Meesters is first outside the top 10 there in 11th, Philip Miles in P12. Then we've got Renwick, the second of the Claret boys there, is Chris Forrester is P14, and the last points paying position from qualifying is Kenneth Lawlive there in 15th. James Pepper's got a drive-through to serve in this race, starting from 16th. Legner Langridge and Steve Pepper, of course, starting in 21st place to match his car number. Here we go then. Engine notes are beginning to rise. Red lights on the screen. And it's green flag. It's go, go, go for race 1 of round 5 of TCR Season 2. And it looks like a really even start from the first sort of 6 or 7 cars there. But Kelly's going backwards in the midfield. And it's Malarin up the inside of Maxwell going into T1 and makes it stick. Ward's across the curb there. We've got Russell Bright pretty much holding position, but he's mugged on the exit there. One either side of him. Kelly looks to have just about recovered his slow start there. Slow start off the line. He's got Chris Forrester all over the back of him though, up in the slipstream. We've got Maxwell and Malarin side by side as they go down to the tight right-hander Remus for the first time. Malarin's still on the inside and looks like he's managed to make that pass for position stick off the line. So it'll be Malarin that leads us down. We really do a Jules tonight for some German pronunciations. We've got the Schlossgold corner, of course. We'll just call it turn 3, I think. Although the Red Bull Ring's one of those silly tracks that's got silly corner numbers, hasn't it? So I think turn 2 and 3 happen in a straight line down the main straight. Fantastic McDonald's livery there for Kenneth Olive there. And Philip Miles pulled off to the left there. I don't know if that's a slowdown or maybe a bit of contact damage. It's both the Extra Racing cars slot line astern. Russell's gone backwards there, hasn't he? Qualified, what, P6? So I'm not sure entirely what's happened there. Still not found any peanuts to feed to the replay monkeys. We've got Malari still leading Maxwell there. Oh, no. Out of car length, but that'll probably close up in the draft. And we've got Ward here looking racy up the back of Alex Murphy as they head into the Red Bull mobile corner down towards Niki Lauda curve. Spelt with a K, of course, for curve. Malari using all of the track and then some. Not quite wide enough to get the slow down, of course. Maybe just tickled and off track for that one as we've got Ward up the inside of Murphy heading into the braking zone for Remus. Turn 1, lap 2. Here we go on board. Ward gets it slowed down. Murphy must not be there on the exit because he uses all the track. That'll be P3 for Ward. And absolutely rapid since he joined the league at Knock Hill. And we've got Kelly there, all up the back of Russell Bright. Winslade's made some moves, it looks like, on that lap. Checking up again up the inside of, would that be Chalcraft? Didn't quite see the car number on the way past there. Is that Chalcraft's usual livery? Possibly, might have slept since last race. Here we are on board with Kelly. Looking at the outside of Russell Bright there, looks like he just pinged the limiter a few times. Maybe lost a bit of straight line speed as a result. John Cook looking real racy up the back of Murphy. That's probably a name that I didn't mention at the start that I should have done. John Cook was very fast in the opening rounds. Coming into this though, sitting 8th in the championship, so again, maybe just one of those where the championship's not quite come together for him. Definitely pacey person. Qualified 4th, of course. He was the fastest of the Elantra drivers. Not the fastest Hyundai though. David Ward and the Veloster, of course, in P2. With that 1,000th gap to Maxwell, we'll put it on Paul. Maxwell not letting Malaren out of his sights, of course, as well as we see Chris Forrester looking to switch back underneath Gavin Kelly there, and it looks like he might have just got the overlap. Be entitled to space on the inside there. Kelly can't just close the door, and they're going to go side by side through the final corner as well. Nice close race in there. Nice and respectful. Langridge looking all over the back of James Pepper. That is a camel. Has James served that drive-through yet? Not seen him in the pits. It's still a long way up the order if he had served it. Oh, there's contact there. That's Meesters. Up the inside of Forrester. Maybe just drove a little bit into a closing gap there. Had to tell from that angle. That's let Langridge in and side by side with Meesters. Head down towards the Schlossgold. Ah! I've got my corner names wrong. My track map is not facing north. This is Remus. At least we didn't go the entire round meeting calling all the corners the wrong name. So we've got Malari now under pressure from Maxwell. Not sure if there was a mistake earlier in the lap or what's happened. But Maxwell is there and he's got his nose ahead on the exit of the corner there. This is Schlossgold and heading towards Rausch. We'll go with Rausch. Malari's still there though, and it's going to be his corner as they head round Worth corner. That's probably definitely not the pronunciation because it's got one of those little dots above the U. And Ward now has possibly got a nose in as well on Maxwell. The track will flick back to the right hand side, which will be Maxwell's advantage then. The next 2 corners coming up as well, or the next 3 corners are all right-handers. So you'd probably expect Maxwell to hold on to this, but Malari, yeah. Like I say, not sure if we saw a mistake, if there was a mistake, sorry, there, that we didn't see. Suddenly came under pressure halfway around the lap. We've got Chalcraft and Russell Bright going side by side. 2 Civics, so no complaints about BOP in that one, that's all on driver. And that's Kelly going very wide there. Probably a slowdown out there as Langridge is making positions up the grid. That's the progress for Charlie. It started in 17th and now up to 11th as we've got Murphy re-overtaking David Ward there. So again, not sure what happened to Ward. I think Ward maybe just got battled up in the... got bottled up in the battle for the lead there as there's more contact between Meesters and a McLaren. Is that to say what it is? It's Forrester again and Meesters banging into each other. I feel like that's happened a few times between those two this season so far. Seemingly no harm, no foul. Everyone's continued on. Chris White, another strong showing for him, up in 6th so far. Been all over the back of John Cook's rear wing. hearing that engine note going through the gears. We've got Philip Miles now looking at the back of Rich Meesters. Lovely shot here, seeing the carts come into focus. And then driving down the hill out the other side. So Malarin just looks to have settled it down again now and sort of kept his composure. He's got it up to about half a second. Few car lengths, that's for sure. Murphy looked very wide on exit there, and Ward maybe smells blood in the water. Jump on board. Nice and early on the power there for Ward coming out of that corner, and it's given him enough of a run to get up the inside of Murphy again, so they'll trade positions once more. And that's 2 or 3 times they've swapped so far this race as we turn our attention to James Renwick with a perfect run on Miles, but just seemed to run out of steam as they're headed towards the penultimate corner. Thought that was going to be an overtake there, but yeah, for whatever reason, the following car just seemed to stall out as it pulled out to try and make the overtake. Yeah, you see that gap from Malarin now really opening up. Just jump on board again with Murphy, see if he can return the favour on Ward. Doesn't really seem to be closing up that much in the draft. Maybe a slightly better run for Ward out of T1. Renwick's still looking feisty on the back of Philip Miles. This draft looks a bit more effective. It does look to be closing the gap there. Maybe it's just sort of the distance from Murphy to Ward that made it look like I wasn't really gaining. Although, again, yeah, that Audi's just pulling in a straight line there. Heading into the braking zone, the Audi actually opened up the gap even though Renwick was in draft. But maybe Philip getting a little bit from Meese, sorry, who's received Forrester. It's got a penalty there for gaining time illegally. That's a slowdown that wasn't served in time, so that's unfortunate for Forrester. That might even have been sort of a byproduct of some of that contact that we saw with Meesters. I think there was a slowdown on the outside of T1 there, so if it kind of got pushed out there and then got a slowdown that wasn't served, that was really unfortunate actually. So things seem to have settled down just a little bit at the front of the pack here. We've got Audi from Veloster from Civic, so a good representation of the different brands at the front. Charlie Langridge's very side was there, trying to make a move on Pepper, who doesn't appear to have served that penalty, which is unfortunate because the current league rules are saying that will be escalated for the next round. They've had 3 laps is generally the iRacing rule to serve it, so they've had 3 opportunities which I believe have passed. Heading towards T1 once again, so this is Nicky Lauda curve, and that is a very good run from Maxwell. Closed that gap again to Malarin. I wonder if Ward was just pushing along the straight a little bit there. Obviously, they know that if they start battling, Malarin will just scamper away, so potentially Ward just happy to sit behind Maxwell, try and close that gap a little bit, see if they can make it a 3-way fight for the win, rather than just scrapping for P2. Look how much they've closed up there under braking. Down the other side, we know that Audi pulls really well off the corner. 2 Atlantas now been in battle. That's Langridge still looking to find a way past Pepper. I think Kelly's just in the background, yeah, about to make it a 3-way with the Elantras. Defensive line driven by James here. No overlap though, so moves back across to take the racing line. Oh, shallow into the corner though, that'll allow Langridge up the inside. Maybe a little bit of contact there just on the apex. And again, Pepper just scampers away into the distance. Got Cook now looking all over the back of Murphy, so potentially maybe Murphy's just overheated his tyres a little bit, allowed John Cook just to catch back up. Wasn't long ago we saw Murphy battling for P3, of course. I see David Ward, a massive dive, just looking, just trying to distract. It's not really a heavy braking zone, that penultimate corner, so difficult to get a kind of dive bomb move done. But Maxwell seems a bit slow in between the 2 corners, and David Ward is all over him here. He's going to pull out. Wasn't sure again if he was just maybe just going to push him along, try and catch up to Malarin, but that is not the case. He thinks this is the time. He'll probably get this move done. Could be inside, but of course carrying the speed around the outside for Maxwell might give him a better run down the straight, so this isn't necessarily a done deal. Let's see how it pans out. We've got Murphy back in play immediately as well. 2 corners ago I was saying how he'd sort of lost out a little bit on the battle, and then 1 corner, 2 corners of battling later, and he's right back there again. He's actually going to move up into 3rd place into the braking zone. Maxwell might come back under braking, and he is going to. Let's see how that Audi pulls. Oh yes, it does. Yeah, it certainly pulls. Although Murphy has held on. Nice. He's got Langridge around the outside of Pepper. Still doesn't get the move done. Pepper immediately moves across. Renwick and Miles still battling as well. Great to see so many sort of ongoing battles. Shows sort of how well matched the cars are and how well the drivers in each of these battle packs are managing to race with each other. Just paused to see what Kelly's move was going to be there. Maxwell giving Murphy a little push. Maybe a hurry up and get on with it or get out of my way kind of Morse code on the rear bumper there. Yeah, Maxwell is wanting to get Murphy out of the way here. Unfortunate that he lost that time being overtaken by Ward. Obviously Maxwell put it on pole, so he's definitely got the pace to be right at the front. Well, that's been a reoccurring theme as we see he's gonna, just looking for the distraction techniques. But yeah, I feel like that's been a reoccurring thing we've seen from Malaren. We've certainly not seen him on pole so far this season. He says, frantically racking his brains to remember if we have or not. Not seeing him on qualifying on pole throughout the season, but he's been up there and up there and up there getting the results in the races, and he's got the championship points to show for it at this point. It's going to be another, it's a strong start to the second half of the season for him. Another strong showings. We've got now Kelly looking to make a move on Pepper. We've got Langridge look to have got that done, but James Pepper on the exit has managed to get back in front of Langridge once again. Kelly is happy just to sit tight again for now. Going to be side by side in the braking zone. We've even got Meesters now looking to get involved. So a four-way now with the Elantras, and Kelly now looking at the inside of Langridge. So Langridge has taken most of the race so far to try and get past Pepper. And then it almost looked like it was going to lose out to Kelly, but the status quo. Or Stardust. It's just for you North Americans. Oh, Langridge very late on the brakes. That looked like contact was going to come in there. And that would have been a certain pit manoeuvre if that had made contact there, especially with the effects of netcode. Shout out to Dave Line. Introduction code. David Line promised us he was going to race in this series this time. I see no ships. So Langridge has been frustrated for 15 minutes and 47 seconds so far. That was I think both cars were moving across the road at the same time there, and Langridge is committed, but so are James, so are Pepper. He's pushing him around the penultimate corner, looking to cut back. That might have been a corner cut for Langridge there. Oh, Langridge loses out on exit there. Loses out a massive amount there. Where did James get that run from? Langridge is going to be under. There he is. There goes Kelly past him. Maybe that was a slowdown. Maybe that's why he's backed off, because that, like, the pace difference there looked just insane. Oh, here we go then. Ward has waited until the final lap. We are on the white flag lap. Side by side with Malaren down towards the Schlossgold. It just feels silly. Who's going to be latest on the brakes though? Not necessarily always the best thing in these TCRs. They seem to like to carry the momentum a little bit better. Don't cook the front tyres. Malaren's going to hold it tight around the outside. Not using all of the track that time. A bit of a pinching game going on. They're going to stay side by side as they head towards Roush corner. Still side by side, Malaren up the inside. But Ward's still there. Oh, he's just going to lose out on the outside line. Maybe looking for a cutback. Didn't quite have the speeds, which just cut away. There's more battling, and Kelly's got too many incident points on the final lap. What a nightmare. Dropping down the order, so I'm not sure if he's gone off track there or maybe had some contact. It's still Malaren just in front. We know that Audi's going to pull down the straight. And then Ward will be getting a healthy slice of slipstream. He's got enough to try and make a move. No, we said before, not really braking zone. Maybe into this final corner. Using all of the track, squaring it up. Early on the power. Oh, no, he wasn't. It was a bit late on the power there, it seemed. So it's going to be Malaren taking the win. Race 1, round 5. Ward, Murphy, Maxwell, Cook, and that's Chris White in 6th place, is it? Amazing. Oh, and Langridge got a slowdown right at the end. A 47-second post-race penalty. That's a disaster for him. It was indeed Chris White finishing there in 6th. That's a great showing for Chris. And the reverse grid position for race 2 is going to be P10, so that's going to be James Pepper that's going to start the second race from pole position. So yeah, Malaren taking the honours there. Ward in second gets the fastest lap as well. Then
Murphy in 3rd, with Maxwell in 4th, Cook in 5th, Chris White in 6th, Winsley, great show of him in 7th, Russell Bright in 8th, Ben Chalcraft in 9th. We said about James Pepper being reverse grid. Pole position, finishing in 10th. Then we've got Rich Meesters, James Renwick, Philip Miles, Ken Olive and Chris Forrester rounding out the points positions. Paul McClarrick, Kelly has dropped down to 17th after that penalty, and Langridge down to 16th. Steve Pepper, I think, retired early on, or dropped backwards early on in that race at least. Didn't really see him on the cameras at all, in fact, did we? We saw the other members of the Camel stable. English is hard, man. As we see the grid in the Victoria grid form shaping up for the second race. That livery of Murphy's. Teamed up with John Cook, of course, but not matching cars. Merritt still needs to whip Balarin and Langridge into the correct Wizard livery, of course. Don't know what that Castrol thing is that they're running, but not to worry. So they are rounding out Steve Pepper in P21, of course. See some fantastic slow-mo from the start on race 1 there in the background. There's someone very wide off the track there. Was that Kelly? Yeah, it was. Look, it's in the Stupid Aguri livery. So here we go then. Gridding up for race 2. We've got a lovely chopper cam to start it. We're on red lights. Green lights for race 2 from the Red Bull Ring. It's round 5 and it's a poor start for James Pepper off pole position. Chalcraft's mugged him, Russell Bright's mugged him, Ward's mugged him, John Cook's mugged him. They're going to be 3 wide going into Nicky Lauda for the first time. It's Ward up the inside, looked like a little bit of contact on Cook, and Cook's been turned around across the nose of Pepper. I think he was sort of pinballed a little bit there, and the 4 wide across the track on exit. It's Russell Bright that's leading us down to Remus for the first time in this race. Maxwell side by side with Pepper after that really poor start. I'll be disappointed with that. Down 7th from the lead. And Winslade in P8. So he's made up the position. He started the second race in P9. Of course, we've got Murphy up the inside, about to take that away from him. That McDonald's livery. It's somehow quite a synonymous combination, isn't it? Sports sponsorship and McDonald's. Possibly a bit misplaced, but whatever. Got Ward slotting in just in front of Balarin, so they're immediately going to recommence the battle from the first race. 3 wide up ahead of them there, 3 wide back here as well. Kelly looking around for an opportunity. Langridge again looking to make positions up. We saw him start 17th for the first race, didn't he? And then got to, I think it was back in the top 10. He's got Renwick wide there, out on the gravel, he'll drop back. Oh, you lose so much momentum when that happens. It's Civic versus Civic at the front then. We've got Russell Bright absolutely under pressure from Chris White. Let's see how frequently I can tongue twist those 2 surnames, because they do battle throughout this one. Is that Pepper doing battle with Murphy here? 7th and 8th, is that, or 8th and 9th maybe? Winslade doing all they can to run away in front, and we've got Maxwell side by side with Ward. And down to T1 for the second lap. Balarin seems to have scampered away a little bit again here. Gonna maybe look at doing a repeat of the first race. Just run away from Ward and Maxwell behind him. Try and get another great result out of it. That's a big squeeze. That's a really big squeeze. There's definitely overlap there. There would have been a spotters call. Just about a car's width left, I guess, there. He was going to have none of it. I expect a bit of a block pass on the way in. Very respectful from Ward, didn't prevent him from turning in, didn't run him off on the way out either, so Maxwell holds on to that position. Winslade, yeah, he's looking feisty in this one, looking fast. It's a 3-way Civic battle at the front. Chalcraft's got involved as well. So who is going to be the fastest of the Civic drivers? They're all on the same setup, of course, so it is all about the driver. Oh, and there's contact there in the background. That's Meesters around. Kelly looks to have capitalised on that with the inside of Langridge there. Oh, Langridge has got meatball. So maybe contact between Meesters and Langridge then to have caused that meatball. We just saw Meesters be spat out into the gravel, so not entirely sure what's happened with that one. What are you thinking of the racing so far, Jules? Oh, there's no Jules. Winslade looking to put pressure on the back of Ward there, but Ward's absolutely impervious to it. Board will be eyes forwards, I'm sure, looking at the back of Maxwell's car, trying to catch that gap back up and see fastest lap for Russell Wright. So 4 tenths faster than Chris White, so he's not too far away from breaking that slipstream range there of about a second. That is that second just ticked by on the standings board there. It got a little bit of a slide. You heard the rears just slide a little bit on the way into that corner. You'd have thought that would mean he'd lose drive traction on the way out and maybe that gap would open up, but it absolutely has not. He's very much glued to the equal gap on the back of that Audi there. Looking further back in the pack is John Cook after that incident at the first corner, of course, and we've got Chalcraft steaming down the inside of Kelly, heading into the braking zone. So Cook will be certainly wanting to make positions up and focus forward throughout the rest of this race, try and make up for some lost positions there. It's a bit like what I was saying at the start of the race, or the start of this round, about the sort of the championship challenge and how Cook's had the pace, but for whatever reason is just not quite up there in the championship. And I guess this round goes to show that, you know, demonstrate what can happen throughout the season. Potentially that incident didn't necessarily look like anything of his own doing. It's yeah, just wrong place at wrong time, but can happen, of course, in racing. He's doing all he can to force a mistake out of Renwick or get his nose up the inside. Anything real. Oh, he's completely missing his front end there. I've not realised that until now. Has he just got overlap there? No, still not quite. This time he has. That must be the opportunity. Yeah, here we go, up the inside there. Renwick just a little bit late on the brakes. Straight lining in that penultimate corner, and Cook has got that move done. So let's see, with the missing aero on the front, whether Cook is now able to catch up to the car ahead of him and make up some more positions. I imagine, with all that front exposed and all the usual winglets and air intakes and all that jazz off the front bumper missing, I'd imagine this will be like trying to push a brick wall through the air, but we'll see how Cook does making progress throughout the rest of the race. Philip Miles looks a little bit wide there, and that's going to give Forrester the opportunity. Well, Cook's caught up the back of Kenneth in the braking zone there, that's for sure. It looked about 10 or so car lengths going down the straight, but looked about 2 or 3 heading the braking zone. So here is Forrester then, looking on the back of Chris Miles. Thought we'd just seen them change positions. I thought we'd seen Miles go wide on exit. Kelly takes a very narrow line there. Not sure if that was a defensive line or what happened. So now attention back towards the front, so we've got a bit of an Audi battle again between Maxwell and Malaren. Malaren not really been able to stretch his legs and get away from them this time. There he is, of course, ranging up on the back of Chalcraft. Just 3 tenths separating them. But it looks like the gap between Chalcraft and White is even less. Yeah, different boards are showing different time splits there. Here is Cook looking to get that next move done. Same thing is scared the car in front away from the apex. It's meant to close up the gap even more, and again that's going to be Kenneth running a bit wide. That might be a slowdown out there. I believe it to be if you get your right wheels sort of over that red paint, and that's what triggers the slowdown, but doesn't look to be backing off, so maybe not. Maybe that's just the off track there. It's got Malaren almost pushing Chalcraft down the straight, and Russell Bright's opened up that gap. We did see it at about a second, but maintained around 8 tenths right now. Certainly not under pressure kind of range. Just Malaren looking to get this move done. Chalcraft's going to carry his momentum around the outside though, and should hold on to it for now. It's going to let Maxwell back in as well. Malaren sort of checked up on the exit there, not taking the optimal line, of course. Malaren not feeling the need to defend heading into the corner, still just very much focused forward, but maybe he should have defended, because here comes Maxwell. Sliding that Audi up the inside on Malaren's right, and might even be looking to go straight around the outside of Chalcraft here. There's still just got a little bit of overlap between the Audis here. Malaren slots back in. Maxwell does just a little bit narrow there. And there's a big stack up in the corner. Maxwell's gone round, Ward's into them as well. Malaren's lost a position. Maxwell's lost control and is off into the gravel. There's a bit of pinball action. That's let Winslade 1 past Malaren, but 2 all over the back of Ward now. Winslade just been waiting there, just ready to pounce if anything happened, and it did do. Here he goes then. will he have kept the momentum a little bit better than Ward? Has Ward got damaged? Because it was his final contact into Maxwell's front left that seemed to spin him around. So that was kind of the most substantial contact, if you like. There's a little bit of scuffing on the front of Mallowan's car, and Mallowan immediately dives out. Well, I don't know if that was a bit of netcode banging, a bit of aero banging, or just a little bit of actual banging between the two of them. Mallowan looked to have got the overspeed and pulled out to make the move, but then, yeah, it appeared a little bit of contact. Here's Mallowan staring at the back of that Elantra, heading down towards the hairpin, pulls out. Couldn't get it done on the brakes. That's braking from Winslade. Exit. That gap has definitely opened up there, so I bet a few corners. Again, Mallowan may be carrying a little bit of damage from that contact. You wouldn't expect it, it's something as robust as a TCR, but iRacing, anything's possible. It's possible that Winslade just got that slightly better run out of the hairpin, and that's what opened up the gap, because the following braking zone is closed right back down again. There's definitely some damage on the front of Mallowan's car as well, though. You'd be surprised how much these cars do understeer a little bit with that missing front aero. Didn't seem to hurt him too much there. If anything, there was a slight correction for oversteer, so yeah, Mallowan looks like he'll probably be okay. Well, that's where's Ward gone out of this battle? How far? Oh, he's in front of it, of course, isn't he? It's Maxwell that will have dropped a long way down. Only down to 10th position, actually. So lost a good, 6 or 7 seconds, but to be honest, I'm surprised that's not a DNF. It looked like it really got spat out into gravel and quite a lot of contact. Here he is. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Looking all over the back of Forrester, who's run a little bit wide. Maxwell's probably going to have the run here, so it would appear that Maxwell's car is running square then. No crabbing or suspension damage going on. So good straight line speed as always. So up the inside of Forrester. Forrester yields to him. Potentially open the door to Kelly there. Kelly's got a really good run through that T1. Yeah, Forrester's going to lose another position here. That's a bit unfortunate. I feel like Chris kind of tried to do the long game tactic there of, sort of not battling Maxwell too much and letting him go, but in the act of doing that has also opened the door for Kelly, who's probably rubbed his hands together with glee and said, thank you, I'll have a bit of that. Well, it looks like that battle went all the way down to the hairpin. Oh, Kenneth's got a black flag there as well for a slowdown not served. We've seen a few of those. I wonder if there's a bit of a glitch or a bug at this track, because it's very unusual to see any driver not serve a slowdown in time. We've seen drivers as the slowdown is about to sort of not expire, but the time's about to run out and people just slam the brakes on in order to clear it, which if that can create its own problems. But it's very rare that we see a slowdown not served, unless it is a bit of a glitch from iRacing's end. We've got Mallowan now almost pushing Winslade through this final sector. Not sure if Winslade will be feeling the pressure from this or if he'll still just be focusing forwards, because Chalcraft of course is not too far away, and then Ward ahead of that, or ahead of him if you like. Bright and White at the front have closed right up as well. I'm just seeing the timings there on the stands. Mallowan is actually pushing him around the corner. Is he going to get the move done here? There might be a little bit of side draft off that back wing. No, Mallowan tucks back into line. Here was the battle I was just seeing on the standings board. So Chris White is absolutely chugging the exhaust fumes from Bright here. Civic on Civic action. We've got Ward just behind. Don't remember when Chalcraft lost the position to Ward, if it was in that schmozzle with Maxwell going around, if Chalcraft got a bit sideways as well, or if that's happened since the event. Seem to have kept the gap about the same between White and Bright through this first sector as they head down towards the Schlossgold. Pretty equal on the brakes as well, maybe a little bit more efficient from White to maybe just close the gap a little bit on Bright there, but of course there's a slipstream to get taken into account as well, so it's maybe that Bright physically cannot do anything more to keep this gap, and obviously White's just being pulled along. Definitely going to be making Bright feel the pressure on this one. It's not giving him a single second. It hasn't done since the first lap, since the green flag, when these two fell into line. And White has been right there. Single mistake. And should be ready to pounce. Oh, the race gets worse for Kenneth. There's now too many instant points, so that'll be another drive through. See Kelly looking a bit squirrely there, going around the kind of S's section. Maxwell now looking to make a move on Philip Miles. Oh, that's that red paint that I was saying about, so I believe that to be a slowdown, but it doesn't seem to have jumped off the power particularly quickly there, so maybe not. And that looks like the white flag being waved towards drivers right there from Barney in the stand. Got John Cook now looking at Kelly as well. We've got Malarin looking at the back of Winslade. Winslade putting up a really valiant, well, I'd say defensive. It's not really hard to do it, but that's the first defensive move we've seen him do. He saw the car drop down on its front wheels. Oh, Ward's got too many incident points. We saw the 4X from Maxwell, of course. That we're not seeing people flying off track, so that's maybe a bit of not falsely attributed contact, but maybe iRacing giving out some 4Xs when maybe it probably seems a bit heavy-handed there. That's unfortunate for Ward, and on the last lap, of course, he won't be able to serve that, so he might as well just cross the line and take the post-race penalty. And Chris White is absolutely making Bright feel the pressure coming into this final sector for the final time. Oh, there was a great run mid-corner from White there. Chalcroft's got too many incident points as well. I didn't think we'd seen that many incidents throughout the race, but plenty of penalties cropping up. Bright trying to do everything he can to maximise his run, maximise his line, use all of the track and all that good stuff. But White's still going to get the run to the outside, heading into the penultimate corner for the final time. Which one of these Civics is going to take the win? We know that Ward's got a penalty. It's Chris White on the outside, holding it round the penultimate corner, and he's still going to be there on the final corner. It's Russell Bright on the inside, and Chris White is going to push him all the way to the flag. We've slipped across to David. There we go. It's Russell Bright taking the win in TCR. Nice job. What a great race for Russell that is. Absolutely fantastic. Started the race in P3. We saw the start for James Pepper as he fell backwards down the grid. And there is your finishing order. Wow, what a fight that was at the end. And Winslade ended up in third position. We saw Ward and Chalcraft getting penalties in that final lap. So that's put Gareth Winslade on the podium. Malarin's got another great result there in fourth. And then, yeah, that was Alex Murphy in P5. Maxwell came home in sixth, eventually getting past Philip Miles in seventh there. And then Gavin Kelly inside the top 10 in eighth position. John Cook in ninth. And Chris Forrester was rounding out the top 10, if you like, taking home 10th position points. It was Renwick, then Steve Pepper managed in 12th in that one. Rich Meesters, David Ward and Charlie Language getting final point paying positions. So this is what it's done to the championship. Murphy up a heap of positions. Bright up a heap of positions. Mitchell, Green and Parker all go down. Ward's up again. He's basically been on the upward trend since he joined, having missed the first two races, was it? Or just the first one race? Chris White moving up 11 places there. Great result for Chris. Taking home that P2, that's obviously bumped his points up quite a lot. Maxwell getting some good racing, good result in that first race, of course. Bit of a recovery drive in the second race, but it's good to have not seen him sort of damage on the first lap like we have done previously. And then some more moves and shakers further down the grid. Steve Pepper got a good result in that second race, yeah, eventually going home in P12. We saw him sort of started 18th, finished 18th in the first race, started this second race in 18th, but managed to come home with some points, so that's good. Reece Atkin, be back soon. Didn't see Dan tonight either, or Lewis, or Ben either. So yeah, there's 34 people have raced at some point so far this season. So hopefully we'll see some more of those names coming back again to join us in the closing rounds of this season. Murphy squad still out on top from Wizards, Fire, Ruby, who of course don't wear neither Fire nor Ruby on their frock. No Slots, No Glory in P3, and Risky Racing and Stupid Guru both losing a position in the team's championship there with the rise of No Slots, No Glory. Probably not surprising to see that No Slots, No Glory have moved up those positions in the team's championship, given that second race it was Bright in first and Winslade in third, so huge haul of points for those guys. Neither of the Risky Racing team were racing here today. Parker was missing for Aguri, of course. Well, that was some racing. That first race looked like it was just going to fizzle out and Malone was just going to run away, but closed all up at the end, and those side-by-side final few corners between Ward and Malone were absolutely amazing. And then that second race was just carnage from start to finish. It was fantastic. Exactly what we're looking for in this series. So you saw the socials come up on the screen, so if you enjoyed the video, you know, all that great internet YouTube stuff. If you liked it, then like it. Please feel free to drop us a comment if anything you think we could improve, or just if you enjoyed the show. Don't forget, you're more than welcome to come and race with us. Full range of abilities and iRacing ranges. The link to the Discord will be in the video description. And check out the website as well, of course. All our information, upcoming events, calendars, and all that good stuff is on there. So, I think that's just about it from me for today. Next up is going to be Hockenheim. Yeah, 2 races on the National A layout there. So, we've left the UK section of the championship, heading around Europe, and then we'll head across to America, the final two races. So, be Hockenheim next time. I hope you can join us for that one. I've been Dom in the box. Do you want to say goodbye, Jules? Oh, he's not here. Well, until next time, thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.